That's almost a foot diameter. Okay, so this is a B47E Stratojet bomber. This is a 1/72nd scale. Gives you an idea. You can see the pilot and the co-pilot in there. Navigator sat up in the nose there. The 6-engine J47 General Electric jet engines. They weighed 2,500 pounds each. The plane carried two 20mm cannons off the tail there. And that is the actual serial number of the plane that crashed. You can see the bomb bay there. This one is rigged for 24 500-pound bombs. Front landing gear, main landing gear. Those tires are 56 inches tall. These are the outrigger landing gear off the wing. And those are 26 inches. That tire, that's one that I found on the site. And the rear landing gear strut that held the two wheels in there, if you can see it, that's what found in the bush. And that is the J47 engine. It had 6,000 pounds of thrust. Each one of these engines had 6,000 pounds of thrust. They were approximately 8 feet long and 39 inches in diameter. That's an external fuel tank, and you can see the underside was painted with white radar reflective paint. That is where the drag chute, the landing chute, was located. So right about there is where the hatch would get blown off for the navigator to eject downwards, and the canopy would get blown off, and the pilot and the co-pilot would eject upwards. So the plane was in about a 7-degree bank, uncontrollable turn. The ailerons were, which are these along the wing, was a complete failure in the hydraulic system. They were locked, pulling about 3 Gs, which made it incredibly hard to even eject, which may be the reason that a couple people didn't get out.
Good morning, everybody. Today's the day. Going out to place a marker on the 1956 B47 Stratojet crash up in the Black Sturgeon area. Beautiful morning. It's supposed to be like plus 30 Celsius. It's probably up around getting near 90 Fahrenheit. Right now it's about 12 Celsius, about 50 Fahrenheit. Sun's just coming up. You may notice I sound a little raspy. I've been sick for the last couple of weeks. Hopefully the heat today will keep the bugs down a bit. We're almost into July now, and leaves are on the trees, and it's going to make it a little more difficult to get into the site, but we'll get in. Alright, this is where I leave the four-wheeler.
This is the end of the trail for the four-wheeler. Can't get through anymore. Now the bushwhacking begins. Should be fun. I got the plaque all wrapped up. Hopefully survive this trip in. Alright, everything looks much different with the leaves on the trees. Everything's much more grown in. I don't know if you can see, but over here the mosquitoes are out in hordes. So lots of fun. Alright, here's this is a membrane bladder for one of the fuel tanks, apparently, from what I've read up. So that's what that is. I wasn't sure last time, but now I'm pretty sure. So now we're going to head straight through there, and we're going to try and get down to the pond and set up this plaque. This bush is thick and wet. Oh, and the mosquitoes are following me. Some more fuel tank bladder. I'm gonna do a complete, if I can, search of the debris area and GPS all the debris. So we have an idea what's here and where it is. Wow, this is super tough navigating through here. You can't see very far in front of you with all this foliage out. Carrying a piece of aluminum. I'm trying to find my way through here. What I did notice up in this tree, I don't know if you can see that. There's that piece of aluminum up in the branches there, part of the plane. Yeah, it's super warm today. Getting really hot already. Sweating like crazy. Mosquitoes are just horrendous. But we're getting there slowly. I'm across a fairly big piece. Looks like it might be from a wing. And a big fat head in the way. Well, it was a trek and a half to get in here today. It's really hard with all the growth, the leaves on the trees and all the bugs. It's really hot today. But I made it here, back at the spot of the B47 Stratojet crash in November 30th, 1956. 3 U.S. airmen perished in this crash. I'm here to put up a plaque commemorating them. They deserve some kind of marker here. We're in the middle of nowhere, northwestern Ontario. So what I can, as much as I can figure out, she came from that direction in a 70+ degree bank turn, and right wing tip touched over there, and the left one over here, and the cockpit right in about there. I got wreckage right here. And from what I read in Slane's book, Flight to Freedom and Beyond, when they were in their banking spin out of control, the G-forces were so bad that he could barely eject himself, and he saw one of the other crew members who looked like he was pinned to the instruments from the G-force, and that might be one of the reasons why the other crew never got out. There's another view right beside the pond, the impact crater. Marker that I'm putting up for the 3 airmen who perished in this crash. This plaque here, this was donated by David Everett of the UPS Superstore, number 96 in Thunder Bay, Ontario. Thank you, David. The photograph came from an old logging guy. These were distributed out to the logging guys after the U.S. Army left. They were all given these. They were signed by the colonel who was in charge of the 301st in Barkersdale, Louisiana. I think it's E.W. Holstrom or something like that. E.W. Holstrom. The rest of this, I had a piece of aluminum. I cut it up for this. This is a picture of the poster that the crew got, and it was given to the Great Lakes Paper Company Limited for appreciation and assistance at the crash site for the 301st Bomber Wing out of Louisiana. I don't know if you can read that, probably not. I'll just do a close-up just to make sure that I got them. That's Lieutenant Richard Martin. He was a co-pilot. Lieutenant Max Workman on the left. He was the navigator in training. And Lieutenant Donald Petty, he was the navigator. A little moment of silence. So I hope I've done this site justice. Nothing else has ever been erected here from what I can see. It's a shame it's taken so long, but They're long overdue. Hope they can rest in peace. So there was stories of a corduroy road being built in through the swamp here to recover stuff, but there's no sign of any kind of road or where a roadway would have been. It's just really unreasonable that it was done. Anything that was here would have been airlifted out by helicopter if they could get at it. Gone around the whole pond. There's no sign of any such activity. Even though it is 62 years ago, there still would be, if they built a corduroy road to hold machinery, there'd still be a scar through the bush showing it. Back at the plaque here. So I'm gonna, one last look. I'm gonna spread out and go through the area where all the debris was. This is a moose trail here. And see what I can find and document. Very peaceful out here, except for the buzzing of the bugs. Alright, so the water's dried up a little bit. This is the jet engine, the J47, General Electric, 25. It was 8 feet long, I think almost 36 inches diameter, and weighed I think 2,500 pounds, and had 6,000 thrust, 6,000 pounds of thrust. That piece of the fan over there, some kind of gear over here. It's a lot harder to see stuff now. With all the grass growing up and the leaves growing, and the swamp has come alive. Alright, I found what appears to be the outrigger wing tire gear. That's definitely from the plane though. Well, it's got writing on the rim. Says model BB. There's a patent series. Tighten bolts to 450 something. 455 to 500 inch-pounds torque. .26 by 6.6 type 7 14 ply rating nylon. And the mosquitoes are just crazy in here. Just nasty. Alright, I found one of the main landing gear. That's not where that little wheel came from. This is where the big wheels sat. I just put the my little GPS there for a size comparison. That's huge. That's one of the main landing gear. More buried in the ground there. That's big, like that's almost 5 inches diameter. And this is, that's almost a foot diameter. And even with bug dope on, these mosquitoes are killing me. Okay, it's become evident that I'm not going to find a intact large tire, because this is a piece of the tire. See all the layers? It's pretty thick. Yeah, there's the tread. That's main gear tire. So it's starting to look more and more like this whole plane just totally disintegrated, that there isn't much buried, that everything was spewing out through the bush and in the muskeg. This could be from more of the main rear gear and tire landing gear. I don't think there's too much intact anymore. Wow, the mosquitoes are just crazy. Alright, so anything I disturb, I'm putting it back where I found it. I don't mean to disturb stuff, but sometimes you gotta. A piece of wreckage with white on it, and it's curved, so that would be the underbelly of the plane. That's almost ½ an inch thick aluminum. That's definitely the underbelly. They painted it with the radar deflecting white paint. Might be a hatch or a joint there. A bigger piece of hydraulic line here. A couple of pieces scattered through the bush here. Piece of tin there. A piece in here. A bigger piece in here. Oh, okay. This is one I've seen before. that strut. Looks like another piece of fuel cell. We got a piece crumpled over here. J1217. Oh, it's got some wiring in there. It's a pretty heavy crumbled piece. Might be some instruments or something. Hard to tell. Looks like more rubber membrane. It's got battery leads on it and wires, and actually that's a dial right there. And a switch. Some kind of instrument right there. I don't know what though. Little radio things and some kind of instrument. They're just the motors through the bush. Can't catch up with him. I think he's all by himself. There's two of them. Where's the mama? Whatever the mama is. Got two baby bears, but no mother.